Antic. Welcome to tonight's show, friends. It's going to be interesting. I don't want to touch on something before we start. Now, I know how shocking certain things can sound, even when you find out they're lies. But when it comes to what's going on over on my man Mike Dammann's channel, with Anita taking it over, hostile takeover type, the whole process in which evokes a reaction in this, considering the circumstances and where we are with a, well, publicly in limbo investigation. There's a reason why Anita evokes such emotion from the inner circle. In the future, we're going to know and find out due to the forensic searches, because they'll be pulling out exactly all of the communications. And, you know, the one thing I'll say for Anita is at least she hasn't lied or deceived about the case from the point of her association to Cindy. And all this time, that stood solid. No, guys. This is not a hate Mike Dammann. He hasn't lost anything. No, don't turn my live chat into a hate Mike Dammann. I'm not even white knighting. You can be upset. It's because of how you're receiving the information. I'm going to remove that comment, but thanks for being here, Jonah. Now save your Mike the man hate for his own channel if you want to talk to him so much. It's not what we're here for. The fact that Anita evokes such an emotion from the core players in this case is fascinating, because it answers the chicken or the egg scenario, which people want to believe that they have the greater public in. If Anita was just as crazy as she said, there would be no need to address her. You could just block it and go on, but that's not what's happening here. Okay? On the surface, your mind doesn't know what to think. The one thing that is important, above and beyond all of the fun we can make of Anita, and all of the fun you can make of Mike and their pretend online relationship and all of the troll comments that are going to come and are out there, Anita evokes emotion from the core players in all of this, and she does it in a way that shouldn't bother them, but it does. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why they're so bothered by it. It's not the nicest way to go about getting information, but it's not completely up to them. It seems to be like a game they're playing of intimidation in the background with individuals associated with the case. That speaks. And right now, you can't be up here saying, like I am, and making these. This is why we're talking about it. You can't be up here saying that forensics is going to solve anything and not point out the fact that that includes Anita's association to the case. Oh, no. Who cares? Who cares about whether or not she's lying? We're still calling it out. We're still pointing it out. Yeah, she's lying about all kinds of things, but so does everybody else to a degree. Hers is a bit too out there because she's doing more than just hanging out. She's in a place where she might be motivated to build an audience. I'm not up here sticking up for Anita, so don't be in my fucking chat insinuating that I am. What I said tonight is absolutely true. And there's a reason for all of that we're going to figure out, or going to find out. We can absolutely figure out. Oh, fuck. She fucking lies nonstop about everything not related to Jack and Lily. No, I don't agree with what's going on. No different than I don't agree with most of the characters on Melrose Place. Yeah, Taze. Who is Navin Johnson? So I'd get that off my system first, because now we can open it up for really making fun of a Scamnita. Anyway, we have an in the background because of Anita's ex in that sense. So people, was it you, the bear? Was it the bear claws or the bear paws? Excuse me. That was talking about her going live after I uploaded that video. From the source on that was the father of Anita's children. So, you know, nobody out here is making it relevant. The person who was trying to make it relevant was Anita in the first place. Okay, so there's all kinds of trickery going on up there. Yeah, listen. Apparently, Anita is writing Mike love letters now. That's being transcribed, I hope, as we speak in the background. Oh, I got 2 new messages. Hold on. Yeah. I didn't tell him. She said it was the wrong Jamie. I assume he knows who he is. He told me right from the start Jamie was a rug dealer. Right. I don't think that that's been... but I think that there's a link there that probably surprised her, and she was doing a lot to avoid even being associated with. And you could see that. Well, here's the fact. If you're going to be out here doing this, don't lie about it. You know, you're causing yourself all kinds of trouble. But who knows? Anita is mixing... What are you saying, Anita? Hold on. Let me see. I got to make your comments bigger. I can't see. Anita is mixing up that we only want to hear about Jack and Lily, not her autobiography. Oh, yeah, the self-aggrandizement. Listen. She was... over there, allegedly, her association to all of this is through Cindy, being her former friend, I guess we could call her now. It's just full of zest in life. But her former friend, I guess, and Wade's, they say that Wade's since blocked her. Who knows what's true? And she was associated with the case right around when Jack and Lily went missing, first post-disappearance, and she babysat and delivered Malaya to a place with her vehicle. Claims to have babysat her for questionable 4 hours, some people say. Who knows? I guess I trust that base story. I got no gripes about that. You think that there would be all kinds of real things to talk about. Anita, at the end of the day, isn't up here telling you how innocent Daniel and Malaya and Janie are. She's saying the right things. It's the only thing that saves me. Or I should say, excuse me, let me rephrase that. It's the only thing that keeps me up here trying to remember what reality is in spite of everything that seems to be bullshit coming from her. Not that it matters, and it doesn't matter, so why throw it at the people? But the answer to that is the reaction that it gets. Which is sad to say, whatever your reason for being upset at it is. I think it's funny as hell, trying to figure it out. I'm not making fun of it, because as soon as you know who the person is, it becomes less funny. Why don't you just tell us who you were in the first place? But now she's over there, up there, grooming Mike in a sexual way. Some say. I don't know. I haven't listened to it personally yet. I'm thinking about it. This is the type of message that I got in my inbox, which was funny enough. Even Mike has to laugh at this. Mike has a thing for Anita. Near the end, she asked him to play the song she sent him. He said he couldn't find that and he was too emotional. God damn it. Then he read a poem Anita wrote him. What? Bro, what? You got this scammer reading you all kinds of things, fandangling you, flaunting it out on your own YouTube channel. She's pretty friggin' sick. She's zeroing in on his weaknesses. She's catfishing him. Only by 4 years, though, right? Catfishing him by 4 years. What in the fuck is going on over there? So, Janie called in today and there was a yelling match, apparently. While it was happening, I already mentioned that about the point of the midday live stream. It's all good. I'm trying not to keep it personal to a person that can't help but be associated with the case. But she is one crazy lady in that sense. Cray cray. And so funny. She's such a character too. A person, you didn't think that anybody could get any worse than Durwood. Durwood had to find somebody worse than him. Maybe that's where she comes in if you want to go all conspiratorial. We don't need to go that way yet. We have to recognize why she's here and why she's relevant in the first place. With that said, everybody has every right to call out her lies and bullshit. But it's in that process, I think, that provides a good foundation, or what would be a better term? You're fostering a better environment to attract out the suspects, because they don't mind flying around stuff that's out there that's already fake that you know about. It's like playing their bullshit game back at them. Only I don't think it's as intentional as I just explained. Fishing in a boat. Anita's a real Shakespeare. So, all of her communications from Cindy being in the inner circle, and the recipient of Malaya Brooks's phone calls the majority of the time, so they say. So the word is out there. So we've read, I guess we could say, which is in the public realm through the affidavits, statements. Cindy, I wonder what that communication looked like between Anita and Cindy. You know, like they've got the judicial authorization to get that type of information from the inner circle. There's an answer out there, and there's going to be an answer to it. There's a relationship history there that's going to be uncovered by the RCMP. Now, I'm not saying that it has something to do with the missing children at this point, but it's going to be nice to understand it and not rely on the information from Anita herself. If people knew who you were, they wouldn't hold it against you. But maybe that's what she's upset about. I don't know. Could be the early signs of dementia. She's almost an elderly individual. She's almost elderly. But we're all going to get there someday. The hell are you talking about, Annie? Vitabiotics, ultra magnesium, got it on Prime after doing. I saw Ricky from Trailer Park Boys has a new drink out in Ontario that he released today. I think it's a thing too. I think he actually has one on the stores and all of the stores. Like what is it called? Something liquor. I can't remember what it's called. I just saw it today. Robin Hedgesley, you coming in here with some hard fucking comedy tonight. Anita says she may adopt Meadow if the chance arises. Oh, perfect. Hope you do. Hope you fly to Thailand and move in with Mike too. You can rub his back every night. Now Mike can put up with you. That's what Jamie's betting on. He's hoping on that. She's looking for a place to stay. Problem is that she can't get out of the country because of her criminal history. They won't give her a passport. Oh, if that is indeed true, I'm not trying to hold that against her, but it's just a little bit of a problem for their future romance. She sure effing said that, Robin. Anita says she'll be a doctor. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm sure she'll want to draw off the government's support for that. Probably lock her in a closet and let her starve for as long as she can. Stacia says, "Oh, hello, no. Does she get Meadow over dead bodies?" Oh, well. I don't think it's going to happen. I wouldn't be too concerned. Hopefully, Meadow won't go to... Was it Uncle Ron? Who is Uncle Ron that has that voice clip out there talking about children, and they need to be shipped as far away from Pictou County as possible, away from this family? Probably a lot more truth to that. He's screaming it. He's not afraid. He doesn't need to bullshit you. He doesn't like kids, especially those. There seems this whole case, sadly, has a theme of unwanted children, which is heartbreaking. And here's a situation where your mind almost refuses to believe that there's such a thing as unwanted children out there, when in fact they take up 42% of, statistically, 42% of those 66 cases that we talked about in that FBI's manual for parents reporting falsely reporting their children as missing. 42%, that word stood out to me. That's such a big chunk and a big number. That was a factor in the reasons for their fate in the first place. And all of the signals in this case with Jack and Lily are there as well. And that's what we don't talk about enough, what people want to glance over, sadly. And I understand why. It's such a heartbreaking thing to think about. It's just unnatural. Think about how powerless those children were in their environment. It was hard for people to be in their lives because of the types of personalities that their parents were. They purposely isolated themselves away, which comes with the substance abuse. You've already done it just by participating in making that a habit. The hell are you talking about? Northern Canada communities. Bish kitties were evac'd for closer to 70 days. Who are you talking about? What are you talking about, bro? Fucking bots in my chat. You can have a 24-hour timeout for being a fucking idiot. Whatever the hell you're talking about. Canada has a lot of northern communities. They didn't evacuate them all. Talking about my country like that. Fuck off. Janie had a number of Freudian slips in her arguments this afternoon. She always does, because she's lying. She always does. Go and listen to it. I shouldn't predict. I shouldn't play that game. But she has a script to stick to. She's not going to stray very far from it. Even though Anita was probably up there trying to trigger her AF. I'm not saying it was that coordinated. But between Mike and Scamnita up there, they already have the fish on the hook, so to speak. They're toying with the fish on the hook. You know, Chance and Jordan and Daniel in the background don't have to call in and engage with two people who are talking about their case. It looks bad on them at the end of the day. More details that they're just going to pull from. Mike's kind of associated inside and with the case, if you want to look at it that way. Forensically, through the information that they're going to extract from the inner circle. The inner circle just isn't the Scissor Sisters, right? It's now Anita and Mike. We can trust that Anita, like it or not, she's doing a couple crazy things here. Like it or not, she's associated with the case. And she was used by, unbeknownst to her at the time, by Malaya and Cindy just for a few hours, and she graciously accepted. Now everything else is just a bonus. But at that core principle, we got to remind everybody that that's checking out. And it's going to be interesting to know via third party through forensics how far that relationship with Cindy goes back. Like if this Cindy, Wade, and Anita trifecta is a thing, well, there's probably a whole lot of talk about what's going on in Malaya's life because it has to be affecting everybody else. She's stealing from people. Think about the things that Wade has said. That conversation is out there. That's an indicator about from where they're going to pull things in the forensics. We already have a good sense of what they're talking about, and they're talking about it through text and over text as well, not just in person. So all of the conversations that people are having behind Malaya and Janie's back are going to answer a lot of questions. They're going to be really interesting. It's going to tell a story all of its own. Isn't your imagination running wild? But it's sad, and I'm sorry to say that today about this this underlying theme that we see. They were seemingly isolating themselves through their bad behavior, their antisocial behavior in that sense, and took themselves out into Gairloch Road, and they really didn't have a really set schedule, especially for the children. And you see that through them having them out to all hours of the night when, one, they're supposed to be sick and in bed, or sick and at home or recovering, or at least eating on a regular basis. But, they're out and about being towed around Hell's Half Acre. It's nice to go out as a family, but really, why? What the hell are you doing the rest of the time? Normally when people go out, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and you're back. And your time is focused around the things that you eat, mealtime. Especially in what they call a family. You don't get that here. And especially through Janie's early language, you get a sense that the children were unwanted, especially from Uncle Ron's brief statement about his angry statement about how Daniel is mistreating Janie and things like this, the burden. There's a theme of that. Anita's triggering people involved. That's all good. She shouldn't be targeting at all. Especially what you're saying, she shouldn't be targeting all MD viewers like they're enemies against Jack and Lily because we questioned Anita. Yeah. Well, she shouldn't be too surprised. I don't think that really matters much to her. Some things do, I think. There's more to it. There's lots more to it, though. But we like to stay updated from the person who knows her. Not that it matters. I try not to let it matter. But what keeps haunting me, that keeps me wondering, now that I'm sold, I'm still open to maybe I'm wrong about it, but her association to the case is there. And from Mike's perspective, no matter what, he'll keep her up there talking about everything in all kinds of ways just to get information that she probably doesn't really understand might be relevant to the grander scheme of things. So unfortunately, she's taking that time to offend all kinds of people, including yours truly, but not that much, because I'm not up here dissing her right now. I'm genuinely telling you how I perceive things so it doesn't get misconstrued. Now, it's not contradictory considering what else she's doing, because there's other things that she's doing while she's over there on Mike's, aside from the fact that she's associated. You can be a bad person with ill intentions and be associated with this case. It just messes with people's preconceived notions about their biases so far in the case. It's not your fault. It's just natural. I'm not saying it's everybody's way, but you see a lot of it, like a lot of reaction. However, people react negatively when you're up there lying to them, especially the way that she is. So she's probably doing more than one thing at one time. Not probably, she is. It isn't Ron, it was Wayne. Wayne Mayflower, thank you. I can't remember. I couldn't remember that. Oh, is that what Ron said? He wanted a piece of DM? Is that his voice on the recording? We're thinking about the same thing, right? So Mike MD is romancing information out of her? No, it has nothing to do with that relationship. No. You understand, it's difficult to sit down and get all of the information that you need out of a person, an interviewee, or a person who you know has information about something. I think Mike's attached to that idea, whether you agree with it or not. Like, he wants to know all kinds of intimate details from a certain perspective that's more accurate than the public perception that's out there right now, because she's associated with the case and she's in the know to a degree. Now, it's why she's taking that opportunity to go above and beyond and exaggerate claims and fabricate. That's a problem with me. And I think that's probably the most common problem with everybody else. And there's no denying that she's doing it. You're just being asked to ignore that, seemingly. And that's been consistent. Mike's had that message privately and publicly. Yes, she may as well be nuts. There's a certain amount that we're not going to know at this point in time, which we don't have to fixate on. We don't have to obsess on. We accept it. We have to accept it, I guess. But not without conversation about it. It's not something that you need to ignore. I think it goes along with, like, the self-aggrandizing and the lies go along with trying to make yourself out to be a lot more in the moment, more important, more relevant. You're talking about things a certain way and you want people to believe you're a good person. And she knows she's not. That's where it ends, though. Usually for the type of trolling that I like a truth troll in that sense. It goes as far as having the person, just acknowledge reality. And that's enough. As soon as a person who's lying does that, the process ends. You can reset. Like, I don't wish anything negative on her, and I congratulate Mike for his newfound love. That's not even being sarcastic. That laugh was. So is that one. Oh, shit. I'm just kidding you. See, no matter what, she evokes emotion. When people talk about it, that's attention enough. And no matter what your perspective is, it's not like Mike is over there telling you that we all have to agree. He's just looking out. And unfortunately, most hosts, the majority of them do the same, is you need to accommodate the guest that's coming on your channel. So she plays, well, she should. She plays into that role. It's how it should be done. But I agree. And don't stop talking about the lies in that sense. She doesn't need to run from who she is. But God knows what Mike believes. Maybe she's really catfishing him. She's not even really catfishing, except she's not being completely honest about her history, especially in the moment. And she can't help herself, which tells me that she can't help her lies because she tells such absurd ones in a consistent basis. Now you can go back and listen. Especially, I think in one conversation, she talked about her ex-husband's owning two different types of dealerships, one a Honda and one another one. And then talked about how her ex was a detective in this sense. Like, these aren't exactly thought out. They're just arising in the moment. Is she taking some of Jamie's devil's dandruff? Perhaps. That would be one thought. Robin Hensley, Janie brought up Jamie. Oh, that's amazing that even is, you're bringing that up. What a tongue twister. Janie McKenzie brought up Jamie, Anita's man, and his rugs, and she said she wasn't there to discuss her life, LOL. Yeah, well, it's not like something that she hasn't admitted already earlier. So what I found interesting, it's not, listen, now it's out there, girl. Now you can be yourself. Now you can, you don't have to lie to people. But that's the funny thing. She still continues to lie. What she's really sensitive about is her, the father of her kids in that sense. And it seems to be the messages that I get through my email inbox that it's sensitive with her. And she immediately goes live on Mike's no matter what time it was. Today it was noon. And she had to address right away that particular video. So, come on. It's not even me out there maliciously doing something. It's just, hey, listen, when you're out there talking like you are, Anita, I mean, all of a sudden your ex is relevant. Especially that he knows that you're out here doing this right now, in this case with Jack and Lily. So he's watching you, and he goes and he sends this screenshot. And it gets to me. I thought it was interesting. I'm not even holding it against them. Like, think about what was in that article. Like, what an exciting little pizza joint. So this pizza joint gets raided by the RCMP. All right. In 2020, everything's closed down. You know what's not closed down? Cocaine. 2020, during the lockdowns, they would have stood out like a sore thumb. So the RCMP go in there and raid this pizza place. They have a gun and $40,000 in cash, and I think that there is some rugs. But along with this sting, there was 4 people that were going in and out of there that they busted for the purposes of trafficking. So you can't help but think that they were doing other things other than just delivering pizzas out of that particular joint for just a little amount of time. Because even when you go back to Google Earth, it was, what is that? Herring Road Pizza? I can't remember it. I think it's something like that, but in the article, it shows the same pizza joint with that Pico and Myra's pizzeria or pizza or whatever it's called. Doesn't. But what my point is that it went back to being what it was formerly before it was, for a very brief period of time, this Pico and Maya's pizza. Just a different name. But you have that image if you search for it at, what was it, in the Atlantic? So they had a whole thing going on out of that. No doubt about it. That Jamie that they're talking about in the article was involved in whatever was going on in that pizza joint. And that would be a perfect reason to lie about your age and alter your documents where you could on your Facebook profile. Like, I guess it's well known that Anita is lying about her age by 4 years on Facebook. And I would have to expect that she's doing the same for Jamie. To try to disassociate him and unlink him from the crimes that he's known for in the area. He wants to disassociate himself from that digitally. Have you ever thought about Incogni? What a great segue for an Incogni commercial. So it just makes sense. Hey, guess what, Anita? We don't even hold it against you now that we know the truth. Yeah, you need to get on with your lives. Trying to get this Maxwell roofing thing going, right? You're trying to get this Maxwell roofing thing. You don't want to be associated with what happened in that pizzeria across from that Canadian Tire. I wonder how that went down. That bust. And by the way, should the cops already know you guys by now? You guys had an intimate interaction with them. You guys were caught up in a sting, it sounds like. Man, I wish we could get in on that story. Wonder what happened. Yeah, I'd like a Canadian pizza, large, and an 8-ball. Pizza places are perfect businesses for laundering money, especially rug money. And it's a perfect place to, have and be doing transactions, right? And it blends in. It blends in. The only problem is, the only thing, it's almost the perfect thing. I wonder how it fucked up. I wonder who fucked up. Maybe the RCMP set it up as a sting place in the first place. Who knows? But I wonder how the lockdowns affected it, because everything's locked down. They're essential workers. Pizza delivery guys are now essential workers. You've got to keep something open to feed the people. As shitty as that pizza looked, the menu looked like hell, but who cares? It didn't matter when you got, pink cocaine floating out all around all night. That's your specialty. It's probably only good for a short amount of time before it's only a matter of time before it gets busted, you would think, in that sense. But still, you wouldn't want to get busted. Almost got away with the perfect crime, except for probably COVID and some weird restrictions that had somebody coming in there poking their head around. Why do you guys need Jordan's sawed-off shotgun in the pizzeria here? Just a question. Is that normal in Nova Scotia? Oh, no? Oh, you guys have $40,000 in the till. Must have sold 2 or 3 specials. The 1 kilogram bag, wholesale. The 98 fish scale. Oh. Bathrooms open to the public. Equal opportunists. Man. What are you saying, Annie? Are you okay? Is that a Michael Jackson lyric? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay? I mean, if they're both single, who cares? If she wants to get something going with Mike D, I can't see it, to be honest. But some people feel the cold, lonely nights when they bring to chill. So chatting is a comfort. Oh yeah, there's a therapeutic sense to it. Mm-hmm. For sure. So you're saying let it be, just, let the love flow like a mountain stream? But does she really? She has ulterior motives. Bingo bango, bear paws. She's a hustler. She's gonna hustle Mike like she hustled her man Jamie. Take a look how seemingly easy, she separates herself in the middle of the night from her man for Mike Dammann. Like, she's out up on Mike Dammann's for hours on end in the middle of the night. What the hell is going on out there? I hear all kinds of moaning and shaking. The car is rocking back and forth. If this is what Mike wants, even more funny. Because wouldn't that just be the perfect show to watch? Maybe Mike is like this super genius, neurodivergent, evil villain. Well, she's just playing up. She's placating to the crowd, Rochelle. I know the game. She's just finding her chops, and she's got great training over there with Mike. Like, it's hard to get away with Mike when you keep telling him all of the stuff that he wants to hear. Mike's not a drunk, dude. No, it's not that. No, it has everything to do with the relevancy of the information. I wish it was different. But at this point in time, yeah, I'm trying to be as true to my observations as possible. Of course I'm biased. But you can't let it affect you emotionally. Like, part of me laughs and I feel bad for it. But it hooks me in. It's such like a part of it is lowbrow mixed in with it's, you would think it was unnecessary drama, and that's what your mind wants to think, but it's unfortunately what comes along with the situation. There is a reason why Janie called in today. Janie, being as innocent as she says that she is, she wants everybody to believe, shouldn't have a reason to even be associating and stooping and dropping to a low to go up and confront Anita and Mike on a live stream in the first place. You can't hold it against Mike, unfortunately. It doesn't, if you're taking it, sometimes it can fool your mind because you want to take everything as you think it should be rather than what it is, because you don't know how you got to that point. You assume. And that's where people lose into their emotions. Just separate yourselves for a moment. They know better. Janie and Daniel know better. But that doesn't automatically mean everything that Anita says is true. She can mix the truth in and camouflage it amongst all kinds of shit or allegations and, shoot that through a cannon on Mike's channel against the brick wall of the internet and see how much sticks. And she's got a reaction. They've got people wanting to hear no matter what it is that they say. Janie and Daniel and whomever else is in that inner circle. It's going to be so interesting to look through all of the messages from the vantage point of the investigators now. Because it's not like we're just the end product. We're the retail in all of this. We have to take it no matter what. And talk about whether or not we believe them or not. And listen, they're lying about one thing, they're lying about everything, sadly. And it has the theme of these poor children were unwanted and not in the best state of mind because of their own life choices in the moment that led to the fate of Jack and Lily and the need to falsely report their children missing to the RCMP when something else happened. Anita Benita says Janie is crazy. Her and DM think the more words they say make them more innocent. Definitely compared to mute MBM. It's definitely unique, Anita. I agree with the RCMP. I think their behavior stems from fear. Fear of being caught. fear of being accountable for something that they wish never happened. It's only natural. I can relate to that. I can relate. It doesn't take away from the fact that they're still lying. They still need to be accountable for what happened to these poor children, the ones that they didn't have a care for in the world, that they didn't value. Robin says, Janie says, Malaya knows what happened to Lily and Jack, and her and Daniel wish they knew. Yeah, like even Robin, great point. They positioned themselves ahead of everybody, knowing something and something else other than what they told the RCMP has happened to these kids. And they're just, you know, it's blatantly obvious of all of the other things that they could be talking about. Must be it's its own little hell, I bet you. Think about, that's the fear of God, because you have to get good at lying and you've got no other choice, and it doesn't matter how it comes across. You just have to maintain to keep yourself, hopefully, the hell out of prison. It doesn't get much worse than what happened to Lily and Jack. Anita says, Robin, at this point, what else can they say? Blame MBM because charges against DM. Yeah, well, that's a factor. But I mean, that's just stemming back from the type of ill relationship and how bad it got to begin with. This fight has never ended. The problems that they had are still there and still are going to be true tomorrow. They're bonded because neither one of them want necessarily to go to prison for life. And that's what they know that they'll be looking at. That's all the reason in the world to lie, to pull other people in, to camouflage the situation and how people perceive you. They've been doing that since the very, very first day, since the police questioned them after their call that May 2nd. Janie talking about how suspicious, Jamie and Daniel talking about how suspicious Malaya and her family was the very first day. That tells me that they already know something more than what they're leading on. Get to the point of it. Where's the kids? That question would have been compounding every minute that you couldn't find them. The fact that you couldn't find your kids and you don't have a really good reason for it is signal enough, in spite of everything and how it came out of your mouths. There is not one, unfortunately, anything in the story that this trio gave the police. There's not one thing that the public can hold on to and use it as a rally point around Malaya, Daniel, or Janie. Everything is just not lining up. And instead of clarifying it, you get that from Daniel especially, that it's not important. There was no information, that nothing significant happened, therefore nothing worth remembering. Think about at what point in life he's saying that. You want to talk about Jack and Lily being unwanted. Do you think a parent who wants to retrieve their children would even come out with something as stupid as that out of their mouth? Absolutely not. Through all of these little snippets from the CBC and these interviews, they've demonstrated that they say that they're trying to and hope and want the kids back, but their actions say completely different. You can see that publicly. So Anita and Mike have Janie, Daniel, Malaya, Chance, allegedly, and possibly others unnamed here, eating right out of their hands, unfortunately. They're the ones pissed off calling Mike and Anita. And that initial reason that we lose and that we're talking about now and reiterating and reminding everybody needs to be talked about to give Anita and give Mike that one little slice of percentage of credence and credibility here. Even though all of yourselves and myself too want to laugh at Anita's claims and things like this and just dismiss all of these different things that she says. We have to focus on who's reacting and why. Doesn't make any part of it okay. None of this situation is okay to begin with. But at the very end, the choice that Janie could have had is just to ignore it and be the better person, do the Christian thing. All of this stems from the lies that she's been spewing in light of Jack and Lily, the two children who nobody around there seemed to want. Yeah, Michelle. They trauma bonded getting together during and at their breakup. Well, what sort of lives were staying silent just makes sense. It doesn't change the course of the investigation significantly, considering that, it's such a wealth, unfortunately, of suspicious behavior and red flags. The only thing holding this case up is the time it takes to get the judicial authorizations through the probable cause, or the Canadian version of probable cause, that they require in order to have that judicial authorization in the first place. Other words, a reason to have to go deeper. And the reason in this Jack and Lilly Sullivan case is and stems from the shitty statements and that shitty alibi that Janie sticks to, their script. We all see the holes, including the RCMP, and it's because of that they need this next step. And it's going to tell, and it's going to be beautiful when it comes to RCMP having provable evidence against all of the lies that we know are out there. The Bear Paw says it's all suspicious how suddenly Janie and Anita yelling at each other like they know each other. They say they don't, but yeah, well, your point's valid. I mean, how would we know? Does it matter? I just automatically assume everybody would know everybody. But apparently it's a thing. Yeah, it's Anita. There's an age discrepancy. It's all kinds of the devil's dandruff all over the table there. Janie laughing was the scariest thing I've heard in a while. Stuff Warrior, what are you talking about? She was over on Mike's laughing? Like at Anita? Give me a timestamp. Should I pull it up? Maybe not. I shouldn't. No, I don't want to. I'm too good of a roll. Very chilling. Like creepy chilling. Like a cackling like a witch. Are you serious? You guys are getting me going. All right. That's literally a cut from Janie's laugh. That's exactly how it sounded. Dead serious, Mr. Hemi says. Oh, you guys, man. That's cool. Do you guys have a timestamp? I wonder, I guess a relevant question would be, I wonder what and why Anita triggers the whole family and the whole inner circle like she does, right down the line. This is what should be, this is what I think the hook for me is with Anita. Even though her stories, and she knows damn well I can't accept those lies, but I still have to acknowledge the truth that's out there, especially to save my man Mike Dammann. I see you. I see you. Mayflower says they all say they don't know each other because they all are related. Kent's mother's sister is JG's mother. What? Durwood is MBM's cousin. Wade and MBM is related to the chief. Oh, yeah. Mayflower, they make me laugh. That's funny. That's true. Just Jeannie 17 says it was hard to tell if she was laughing or crying at one point. Well, I think no matter, just zoom out for a second. The fact that she's up being overly emotional, calling up to Mike's stream. She's calling Mike's live stream. She's not just calling Scamnita Anita. Like, what is possessing her to do such a thing? If somebody was talking nonsense and craziness, there's ways to deal with it. Not one of them is trying to confront them on their own level and alter what that truth is. So that's what's keeping Mike there, because he sees that. That's a truism. That's a fact of this case. We're going to see all of the things as to why this would be classified in the forensics as narrative management. Okay, we'll go with narrative management. There's communications in the background between people that escalate communications because there's so many different people involved, not just Daniel now, but it all can be sourced back to, and it's all going to be relevant. And they have the judicial authorization to not just pull it, but probably spy on you in real time. Why wouldn't you? But again, they only get a warrant for as much as they need. And they're going that next level at this point. Are they running surveillance? Depends if they need to or not. There would have to be a specific reason to. Probably, I don't know if that's necessarily true. There's easier ways to get information, and they're doing that now. Some of her stories are true, then some have elements of the truth, and some of them have nothing to do with the truth. In my opinion, Mayflower says. Right. That's all right. As long as we all recognize it, it shouldn't be much of a problem. So now it can be a talking point. Oh, have you heard? Our new friend Anita is related to John Gotti. She's also and has also been dating, what was that dude, that junior mafia dude from Montreal. She's dating Montreal Junior Mafia too. No, not the rap group, the actual man. The Bear Paws says, so it's part of Janie's plan to take Mike down like she promised him she would do. Is it working? And then she calls Mike's channel while Anita's on. No, listen. There's no way Janie's going to be taking channels down, or would she even be engaged in knowing how or wanting to. She's got better things to do. She's got bigger fish to fry. Foolish. Silly talk. what inconveniences them the most, because the one thing that Janie, Malaya, and Daniel don't like and didn't anticipate is how annoying, because they're so intertwined with different people throughout this past year, everything that sticks in their mind and go ahead, Charity, you can have this. Everything that people say about them that is contradictory to the story that they want to sticks in their mind. Excuse me for a moment. I got distracted. Not distracted. I had to rescue my drink over here. What is the story with Gene Simmons and Anita? Fishing, that's, I don't know, maybe she's, was a roadie for him. You're waiting for Hemi's timestamp? You only watch like 2% of her stuff, Rachel? Or Rochelle? I don't watch Eddie because I don't want my emotions to be dragged into it. I get distracted easy. I like it this way. I can't wait till they start acting on the information that they pull in from all of this. Because it's coming. Next step is going to be interviewing Janie, and those cops are going to have all sorts of information and the answers to the questions that they're going to be talking to Janie about. Because she is part of this. She's an accessory now, whether she wants to acknowledge it or not, based upon the alibi and the false story. And by the way, it contradicts. It's inconsistent. None of them line up. Completely different. Her account of the kids that morning is completely different from Malaya and Daniel's. They don't even meld into one another. That's a problem. It's not natural. Stacia, you're welcome. Charmaine from Charmaine's True Crime has confirmed that who Anita said was DM was Chance. Can you simplify that? What? I'm confused. Gene Simmons, he said he slept with 1,000 women. Shannon Tweed was upset. Incoming Anita to the rescue. Well, she's probably, she's probably got some sort of psychic hustle on the go. She's over there on Mike's talking about her psychic energy. Good to see you, Lindy. 3 hours and 17 minutes and 4 seconds of today's. Okay, give me one moment. I didn't actually plan to come up here and start, speaking in a positive light about Anita. It's just I had to make a baseline, considering all of the things and the stories that are out there at this point. So we have to have a starting point. So here we go. So you're saying it's 3 hours, 17 minutes, and 4 seconds. 3:17 we'll go to. Let's go 3:16. Let's hear it.
On the pipeline. Well, how did they find if we were destroying evidence, how would they find the footprints if we were driving the ATVs? Like, wouldn't somebody run over them? If we were
Daniel went back with the boot. Daniel went back.
Are you fucking kidding me? You want to come on to Mike's channel and play $60,000 pyramid? Why don't you tell us, dummy? And what are you trying to say about the footprints that they found 500 meters back on the pipeline trail, that it was Jack and Lily's and it has something to do? What a circular argument you're coming up to Mike Dammann, you old bat, and trying to make. You're a liar, honey. You're even a bigger liar than we claim Anita is. And you're more relevant to the situation because you are on that property. You're supposed to be in a role of protection over those children. What a stupid thing, Janie. The first thing that I pull up and listen to, the first thing happens to be you saying the most cockamamie, roundabout thing, trying to associate it with little, word salad things that are already out in the case. Honey, you can't talk or speak directly about any issue in Jack and Lily. You're the fucking Riddler coming up in there from Batman, trying to apply your flawed logic to somebody who is talking about you on the internet. You can't handle Anita. Why is it bothering you if none of it's true? Isn't it funny watching a bunch of people waste their time talking about stuff that isn't true? Why is it rattling around in your head? Why is it affecting you to call into Mike and talk like this? Honey.
Back with a boot and made the print.
Oh, fuck, that's a good one, Anita. Oh, that's a fucking good one.
What about May 2nd? What do you guys do May 2nd?
Holy shit, Mr. Hemi, you weren't kidding. Wow. That, I felt the hair raise on the back of my neck. I'll get you, my pretty. She does sound the Wicked Witch of the West. Like, she's as old. She probably could have been one of the people who didn't make the cut. She wouldn't put out for the director of that movie back in the day. She could have played that witch. That is hysterical fishing. Let's see that again.
Hey, Mike, listen. We were up there Friday, okay? Friday? When did they find the footprints? They found the footprints, wasn't it on May 3rd? So if we were driving the, let me think right now. Here, let me look. I have a picture here. Let me see. I'll tell you.
She's sounding like the leprechaun from Lucky Charms. Hey, Mike, I've got a riddle for you. Mike. What the hell does that have to do with anything? They're talking about you and you come out of nowhere like Beetlejuice and you're fucking spouting off riddles. Woman, you're worse than a demon, Janie. She's just so outraged because people don't believe her. People recognize that she's lying. And this is what and how she's acting.
When they found
What about May 2nd? Did you go there May 2nd?
All right, wait a second.
Go ahead.
Wait, just hold on there a second. Just hold on there a sec, Mikey. Mikey, on May 3rd, they found the footprints at, Malaya sent me a picture, May 3rd at 10:16. Okay?
Okay.
They found the footprints, I think it was Friday night, in the middle of the night or something. I'm not quite sure. So if we were driving the ATVs up there and down and on the road, on the pipeline, well, how did they find if we were destroying evidence, how would they find the footprints if we were driving the ATVs? Like, wouldn't somebody run over them?
Yeah,
If we were
Daniel
destroying
went
evidence,
back with
like
the
they found
boot.
footprints?
Daniel went back with a boot and made the print.
Oh, fuck, that's a good one.
So Anita says to Janie that Daniel went back and made the boot prints. That's plausible. What's so funny about it? That was her laugh after being accused by Anita up there. They're up there playing good cop, bad cop. Fantastic. That's really funny. That's really, really funny, dude. Shit. Anita. Great question. But it's not even an actual accusation. Who cares what she said? Like, I mean, it's plausible. There's your opportunity, Janie, to speak to something that's an actual real question. That you could have a conversation and say no. And here's the reason why, for example, rather than break into hysterics. You broke into hysterics, girl. Janie. That's a big tell. That's another red flag. The fact that you're up there anyway tells me that you're desperate. And what are your guys' priorities always? Oh, can you guys stop with the accusations out there? Could you tone it down a bit? There's only one accusation that matters, and it's your responsibility over the fate of Jack and Lily and the cover-up. That's still going on day by day. Yeah, she certainly had an emotional reaction over that statement. Fishing. That is Janie in a nutshell. That is beautiful. That's, God. It exposes her desperation and her level of denial. You hit the wall, bang on. You hit that wall. We're right at the gates. Wow. Mike's got the good clip of Janie, and she's over there leaking her emotion, her true emotions about things. Not that it didn't have anything to do with what the question was that Anita asked, the words themselves in the situation. I'm saying that her response to it alone shows you the level of denial that she's refusing to speak to any sort of question or context about Jack or Lily.
They're searching evidence on the pipeline. You were not searching for children.
Stop.
You knew they
Stop,
weren't
stop,
in the
stop.
woods.
Anita, no, enough.
Anita.
Anita, stop. Now, okay. So you were all there, but if it was a crime, if there were so many people, if there was any evidence or anything there, wouldn't it be reasonable to assume that many people there, ATVs, would have destroyed any kind of tracks that could have been made there that had something to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily?
Okay, Mike, listen. We were up there Friday, okay? Friday.
That's your answer to his question. Did you see what happened there? She immediately answers whatever's asked about her in a way that she wants that isn't necessarily associated or maybe loosely associated. She just takes it in a different direction as opposed to just straight up answering his question, satisfying the issue and the problem in the first place, and then going on to explain whatever it is that she feels that she needs to add. That never happens in this circumstance with them or her. So the fact that Anita and Mike together up there have a way of evoking the spirits in that sense. They've got the magic powder. They've got the Midas touch, the ability to raise the dead or the near dead, like Janie out of her slumber in that nasty fucking RV of hers, to come and get on her phone and away from Candy Crush and call Mike's show and start yelling and cackle and get on like that. I'm more willing to accept Anita in spite of all of the unnecessary self-aggrandizement, because I can consider that just her trying to trigger the fuck out of Janie as opposed to taking it personally And that's probably what we should all do for now. It's difficult to hold anything against her when you find out what's allegedly true alongside it. Well, it's going to be hard to make fun of somebody based upon the negative things that happened in their lives, things that, you know, you feel creepy even bringing up to people now that you know the truth. Yeah, I know. I take my inspiration from a man named Jesus. Daniel, excuse me, it's so much easier to deal with if she started dealing with the truths. She'd probably have a heart attack. Yeah, she knows the truth. Her level of denial and rage and desperation tells you that she knows more. She has a guilty conscience. As bizarre as that might be to say, considering how nasty she is. I don't think she knows any other way to express herself, let alone etiquette. She knows just enough. Oh, you evoke these in the name of Jesus, Annie? Listen, I've got a prayer ready. Do you want to bow your head in prayer with me tonight on this fine Friday night? In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Let's bow our heads, friends. O Lord, God Almighty, creator of heaven and earth, I call upon you now in this hour of spiritual warfare. By the power of the most precious blood of Jesus Christ, by the intercession of the Blessed Virgin Mary, by the authority of Saint Michael the Archangel, and by the sword of the Saint Benedict and all the holy exorcists, I command you, unclean spirit, known as Janie Mackenzie and Scamnita, to depart at once from Mike Dammann's YouTube channel, from his mind, from his comment section, from his inbox, and from every digital corner you have infested. You who have hijacked a man's platform, you who slither in under false names and stolen youth, claiming to be 54 when you're 58, you who drag your husband Jamie, aged 54 or 55, into the same web of lies to hide his stench from the 2020 RCMP bust of the devil's dandruff at the pizza joint. I rebuke you, demon of grooming and deception. You who write saccharine poems, who dedicate love songs like a succubus in heat, who whisper flattery, and false affection to ensure a man's soul, I cast you out. You spirit of manipulation and age falsification, you who cloak yourself in the skin of a younger woman, well, your true face is that of a 50-year-old predator. You who traffic in lies about your age and your husband's past to worm your way closer to the innocent. By the authority of Jesus Christ, I bind you. I bind every poem, every song dedication, every private message, every calculated comment, every grooming tactic you have used. I sever every unholy soul tie you have attempted to forge with Mike Dammann. I command every digital trace of your presence, every cached comment, every DM, every voice note, every edited profile to be exposed and erased in the light of truth. Janie, Mackenzie, Anita Maxwell, you are not welcome here. Your false youth, your husband's buried scandals, your parasitic need for attention and control, I renounce them all in the name of Jesus. Holy Spirit, flood Mike Dammann's channel with clarity and protection. Surround him with discerning spirits. Let every lie be revealed and every grooming attempt collapse, and every false persona crumble like the house built on sand. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of this demon. Cast her back into the pit from which she crawled. Back to the shadows of fake profiles and the devil's dandruff-stained pizza boxes. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Janie Mackenzie and Anita Maxwell be gone. The demon of grooming and deception is cast out. Mike Dammann is freed. Amen.
He said a lot of misinformation, but I've cleared that up with him. And I hopefully set things straight. And Belinda and Darren, if you are listening, I did not hear anybody shush the kids that morning. But let me just say something, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
If I did hear somebody shush the kids, would it made any difference?
It would make a difference if one time you say you did hear it and then you say you didn't, because there would be an inconsistency. That's what I'm pointing out. You know what I'm saying?
But I didn't hear anybody shush the kids. That's the thing. I didn't hear anybody shush the kids. I heard the kids laughing and talking out here. What they were saying, I don't know. I just heard them for a few seconds, and then the next thing you know, they were gone. I didn't hear nothing. Until I heard Daniel yelling was the thing I heard. And I don't care if people believe me or not. It's not up to you guys to believe me or not believe me. It's up to
Oh boy, she's going to be sorry she said that. Mm-hmm. Just a clapping seal. The boot on a stick clip plays out for a bit, then she barely catches her breath. Is that a fake laugh and bizarre overreaction? You have to give me a timestamp for that. Mayflower. That's an exorcism. We're speaking to Jesus and the Virgin Mary. It's like a hybrid 21st century postmodern exorcism of all that's evil. Nothing wrong with it. Lindy, when she's raising her voice, she's lying to your ears. Oh, it's on Hemi's timestamp that keeps going. Okay, thank you. We'll keep an eye out for it then.
to the investigators in the RCMP to solve this case, not you guys. I could give a shit what you guys think, but I do with Anita because Anita's spreading a lot of shit that's ruining people's lives.
Oh, isn't that interesting? No, she's not. You can choose to disregard. Well, she's certainly not causing you to lose any time at work. You want people to believe that she's ruining people's lives with whatever story she's coming out with, but she's really not. Who cares? You're all bothered because she, no matter what, is in a position to say, hey, I spoke out. I spoke out against the cover-up that's going on. Here's what's going on behind the scenes. There's problems with the parents' stories. We're just a year into it. They've had probable cause and had to investigate each phase. Has it been quick? Many people who don't and won't choose to understand the legal processes, well, seem to have a lot to say in comments and seem to be glass half empty type of people. There's not very many of them. Just a minute few, a circle of individuals that are probably all associated through the substances that has plagued this greater family. start your lives with that cackle, Mr. Hemi? It is, well, you didn't lie on that one. That's a good one, man. I appreciate it.
I don't believe you. No, I didn't ruin anybody's lives. When you send a death threat and you have guns, you ruined your own life. You ruined your life by not leaving Earl, and you have a son who's abusing children. I'm talking. I didn't call. They're listening. They're listening to you right now. They're listening to you, Janie.
Did you know?
You're under investigation of a double homicide of 2 children. They're listening to you right now.
Under investigation of a double homicide. You're saying a double homicide? They haven't ruled those kids.
Hey, all you statement analysts out there. We just heard a sign of deception, a classic sign of it. Which was it? What was it? 3 seconds. 2, 1. The immediate repeat of the words that came out of Anita's mouth. She chose to repeat the words that she just heard out of Anita's mouth and yell them back to her. That usually gives the fabricator, the liar, that person a little bit more time to figure out exactly what they're going to say. On purpose. It's a giveaway. It's a tell. Repeating the question, Mr. Hemi. See, everybody's picking it up, Mike. Everybody's eyes are out there in the right spots. Stalling. Exactly, Mr. Hemi. We're on the same page, guys. Especially in this circumstance. You're the one who just walked yourself into this situation. All of a sudden, you're getting mad when somebody's asking you questions that should be easy for you to have answered over a year in, but you get infuriated, and that's been a pattern this entire year. It's never moved past this stupid fucking story that you gave the RCMP that you won't add any context to. Honey, you're lying. Now you've stooped as low because of your own behavior and stupid fucking comments all of this time. You want to tell somebody else that it doesn't matter what they think. It's just up to the RCMP because why? It doesn't make you sound or look very good. That's not their fault. It's yours, honey. That's you projecting onto them how you feel. More leakage.
Kids are dead. It's not a homicide.
They have to leave it as a missing person because it's a broader scope. They're listening to you.
It's not a homicide.
Obstruction of justice, Janie. You're going to jail.
Okay, will you come see me, Anita? Will you come visit
I'll make
me?
sure I bring a toilet, soap, a new top. I'll bring you some coffee, treats for Fluffy Tucker, whatever.
See, I recognize that as Anita as watching my video from the other day about Janie shitting in that 5-gallon bucket that she's so proud to shit in. The only person that I've ever heard be proud of shitting in a 5-gallon bucket. I guess if not shitting in a 5-gallon bucket was your only option and it had to be like just straight on the ground into your hand, which people do, homeless people. Hold on. I'm proud to. You just want to make fun of me shitting in this here 5-gallon bucket. Ding ding, that is true. Listen, that doesn't. Look at her, so eager to jump into the victim role there. Listen, there are some limitations. There's some reason for certain stigmas. There's things that you shouldn't do, and shitting like you're shitting in that RV of yours in your own driveway. You can fucking try to convince everybody that it's by choice, but nobody chooses to be homeless in their own home. There's a lot of that going on, and I believe it stems from fear. She doesn't feel like she has any other choice, but she's so desperate for people to believe her words. A person who doesn't have to worry about the truth because it speaks for itself isn't going to have the need to be up here with Anita laughing like you know, the Wicked Witch of the West like she does. Come on. And it's not just a personality flaw. It's not like she doesn't know better. She's really insistent on you need to believe something a certain way. The hell do you care what some fucking idiot believes somewhere else? You don't. It doesn't matter how guilty you are or not. They're the ones caught up in this repetitive cycle of hell like on earth already, right? They're caught and they're bonded to, it's like being chained together in this ball of deception. That's this case of Jack and Lilly, and the RCMP have announced that they're going deep and they're tying all of the shit together, all of the stories, historical data, all of the post-disappearance cover-up, the communications, what they're watching, what they're doing, why they're doing it. Oh yeah, and then they're going to pull you in for questioning, and then there's going to be no going home. Do you know how I know that? Do you know why the world knows that? Janie, do you have an answer for that, honey? You're demonstrating it over with Anita on Mike Dammann's channel right now. There's no rationale or reasoning behind the claims that you're so vigilant over, that you're so intent on gaslighting the world with. You can't speak in detail and refuse to. That's not our fault. That's a you problem, honey. Another reason why we know you're guilty, because you are forcibly telling people what it is they need to believe. Truth. Let the truth speak for itself. You got no reason. You go on with your merry life. Live your best life, girlfriend. But you can't because of what people are talking about you behind your back. What, the truth? You're in the wrong place. You come to the internet and try to project onto the internet like it's their fucking fault for making you look bad. No, you made yourself look bad, and you continue to do. Doing that, you make Anita look better. Surprising how that worked. They have you eating out of their hand, Janie. You can't not listen to all of the content that we make about you. That's just priceless. You could be watching MTV Catfished. You could be watching 90 Day Fiancé clips. There's new ones out. There's a new season. Shit that makes you cringe. You could be doing all kinds of things. You could be watching Joey B. Tunes, Mr. Beast. But you're over there watching Mike and Anita talk shit about you. Why? The stuff, the water that rolls off a duck's back that you guys can't stop mentioning. Oh, it's just such a... Oh, God. Robin says, Janie said M knows. Then she said to Mike that he wasn't there and only the people there know what happened. She leaked. Woo! People out there in the public are starting to... Or not starting, they're recognizing and pointing out, observing the patterns already with Janie. This is what happens when you can't and will not, because of out of the fear and desperation that you have, stray from the script that you continue to push upon people. In this case of Jack and Lilly Sullivan, you're showing your cards. You've shown yourself. You can ask Belinda Gray anything you want. She'll talk your ear off probably about most anything in great detail. It might not matter, and probably it's not going to matter, but she's more than willing to simplify the process considering the situation Jack and Lilly are in. Janie gets raging mad, desperate, wanting to go through the motions, pretending that the plausible question is just so ridiculous it can't help but make her look suspicious because she has a sheer refusal to answer it. She's acting like who can we think of? Who was in charge of the Luftwaffe in World War II? World War I pilot, what's his name? Hermann Goering. Goering on the stand it was a real character. And he didn't consider the laws that they were bringing to him were meaningful. He was in a kangaroo court and became really performative on the stand, and Janie's becoming performative here. Is fear just a clapping seal? Yeah, I think we're seeing it. She's got an utter refusal to speak about the details and real, intimate things. Not that she needs to, but she's admitting that she doesn't find them relevant to Jack and Lily. When it's something that you just can't argue. The information is important. The fact that you refuse to associate any sort of times along with all of the assertions you make is a real problem. And you know out of fear that you need to drop them and still remain transparent and cooperative with police. You have to rely on your selective memory. Mr. Hemme, you're saying there's absolutely reasons. Don't be silly. Yeah, I'm glad you brought me this timestamp. Thank you, Mr. Hemme. This is so interesting. I'll share the link with you in chat so we can... Thank you very much for the super chats, by the way. It's very generous of you guys. I'll just pin it to the top. It's probably not going to be there in the future, so you're going to have to use your eyes. It'll get trimmed out of the comments afterwards. No worries. People know where it is.
And I'll bring a crew. Do you need any room? Do you need a new room? I'll bring a crew to clean the yard.
You don't need to worry about it. Maybe I should call your boyfriend and ask him if they do supply stuff in the fucking jail.
He doesn't know anything about this. Been clean for 25 years. It's not about me, Janie. I'm not under...
Do you know what's really funny? Is that in the short clips that we've been playing from these two, they've both referenced the video that I've made like yesterday. JD talking about the boyfriend in the blow. Not like it's me who's breaking the news, but it's just funny that it's not coming up. You know, like it's after a video that I made. Not saying that I'm getting a perverse thrill off it, but you guys are mentioning it. Like, it tells me that you guys are watching my content, Janie. You can't help but watch me. Do you want my autograph 8x10 girl? Do you want me to put on some lipstick and kiss my picture for you, baby? You can hang it on that wall. Lindy, thank you very much, darling. That's so generous. Thank you very much. You made my evening. I appreciate that. Oh, I can't even... I appreciate that, Lindy. Thanks. I just got to refresh. Give me a moment. Froze up in the background here. Hold on. There we go. Those are fantastic voice clips. Like, did you purposely call up to get fucked? Oh, you're calling up just raging out because of the content people are making about you. And then you're turning around and using it as insults at the other person. Not just one of you, but both of you. That's really funny. Why? What would motivate Janie McKenzie, somebody who's just so innocent of anything in all of this, be interested in engaging in this sort of behavior? The fact that you showed up, Janie, tells people all they need to know. Good God.
Investigation. I'm not under investigation. I'm not under investigation. You are. You are on the property. You're lying.
Well,
You're lying. You're standing on lies for your son. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar.
Listen, everybody. Listen up, everybody out there in TV land or YouTube land or whatever. I was here at the property. Okay, Anita.
Thank you very much, Baby Monkey. What did I tell you? She cannot stray. We talk about this all the time, that they cannot stray from this particular script, so they just repeat it louder as if you didn't hear it the first time, or you're not believing them enough. It's like repeating something to somebody. Eventually it becomes true. Neurolinguistic programming, like, in that sense. But with Janie specifically, she reverts back to her specific alibi, and it never has anything to do with the actual question that's on the table or being asked or of topic. She just hijacks that topic and yells it as though you're not understanding something and you're the crazy one. Janie, you're the crazy one here, girl. You're the one who's detached from reality, not anybody else. And in this moment, including Anita, surprisingly enough.
Anita, I told everybody I was here at the property. Okay, people know that I'm here. I was here. Yes, there was 3 of us. Me, Daniel, and Malaya. We were all here. Everybody got that? Okay. Now, Anita, I'm hoping there's somebody out there that can friggin' do something about you and hopefully get you on some good power.
To take care of Fluffy.
So we'll check your goddamn work.
Well, I can't be confused over what what they're doing over there. When you get something that is evoking such emotions from a person who's so clearly guilty and lying by omission, who's eating out of your hand, who can't not engage in whatever it is that you brought up, that speaks to your guilt, Janie. It doesn't speak to your innocence and your victimhood. It speaks to your guilt, which I'm glad I'm promoting over here at this point in time. Well done over there. I'm not confused. Not confused at all as to what they're doing. An innocent person doesn't have the need to engage with Anita, should she be just over there full of shit. And nobody's damaging anybody's lives through words and talking about Jack and Lilly in any way. How would you know, bitch? B-I-S-H. Glad you know what you're dealing with. Now you have no excuse to play ignorant, Mr. Hemi. I'm not playing ignorant. Chance was in chat before Jay, but they started chatting close in time, Stady says. 3:17:04 is the timestamp for those of you in the future watching. We're just coming up on it. Very interesting things that Janie's bringing up. This is a real covert effort to manage the narrative that's out there. You know, the easiest way to correct is to add context and detail, as in reasons why you're right and they're wrong. Not just yell it louder. What are you, 7? All of the answers are going to be coming. Wouldn't it be interesting to be able, on a piece of paper or your screen, to pop up a little folder from Janie's communication history through her messenger, including this call to Mike and Anita, all the way back to, let's say, the day that Malaya... Let's go back further than that. A month before Malaya and Daniel moved out of Patty's into the Gairloch Road. Let's go all the way back to that date, right from Janie's appearance on Mike Dammann's live stream, and read every single one of Janie McKenzie's text messages, the reasons she's sending them, who's communicating her. They're going to be doing that. All right? They're going to be doing that. They're going to be painting that timeline, and you're not going to have any fucking say about it, Janie. Snarky Pants is just waiting for her to say it. She's so angry and emotional, Janie will say something and bring it down. Oh, imagine how easy it should be for the officers after they gather so much information. Look at what they pulled from the first round. They got Danny on these specific charges, which are significant and serious, especially in light from his issues in this Jack and Lilly situation that goes unresolved to this day. But it's progressing, absolutely. Them having the judicial authorization to go ahead and get all of these answers from everything post-disappearance is going to tell a story. Since day one, we can all source it right back to this interaction with Sonny's channel and coming out with these live streams and the information. Look, Durwood associated himself, and it's all sourced back to Janie and Daniel. Who knows about Malaya at that point in time? But it's not like it was a surprise. Durwood claims to be a relation, and he's in contact with them. No matter, he admitted he's in contact with them. We know where it came from. It came from Durwood. As crazy as it is, it doesn't mean dismiss everything, because your answers are right in front of you. You don't. Who cares what he said? Yeah, he's a bullshitter. But our answer to the question is there's our connection. There's our source of information. That's all you need. Especially to know and pull of the communications digitally that they had. These are things that Janie isn't going to be able to put herself in a position of telling you what's right or wrong. There's going to be no he said, she said scenario. Mayflower says, I think Janie isn't that dumb. She will go to her grave with it. Well, that's not being loyal. That's fear. You could be right. You're probably right. But it doesn't mean that the things that she's going to say isn't going to break the case. She doesn't have to admit any of it. You sit in front of those investigators and refuse to answer questions, which is probably, I don't even have to be your defense lawyer. That would be my recommendation. Just pretend that you've got, you don't know how to write in English and don't speak again. So you lost your voice from trauma. I think that's exaggerated, Mayflower. I'm not disagreeing with you, but she's just, you can say that Anita's highly emotional and accusatory of one particular party. It doesn't make her wrong. It just is her behavior that people don't agree with. Doesn't make her wrong. Doesn't make her right. Doesn't make her truthful. That's not the point. We're focused on Janie for a moment. Janie is getting up in front of you, leaking all kinds of information. She's not talking about and clearing up any information. She's not addressing false allegations. She's cackling. She's not prepared or willing to go into it. Yeah, you're right, Robin. What they don't say is almost as valuable as what they do say, Anita Benita. Absolutely. That is going back to Susan's 1996 study, one of the foundations in statement analysis. A little something that we've learned here on this channel, and you at home have learned as well. That's a classic, Anita, they would call it. What they don't say is almost as valuable as what they do say. That's what we learned from Susan's article. We all know it's a cover-up, and so does the RCMP. You're right, Anita. High five, by the way. Janie called in, so it's on herself this time. Good points. Keep in mind, this is all basically sanctioned by the RCMP. If they didn't want people talking, they would put a gag order on it, like they did the other case. Well, let's remind ourselves, I don't know what moons you're living on, but when it comes to a desperate situation from the perspective of two children who are missing and desperately need to be found dead or alive, which is what Jack and Lilly are, it's what's best for them, not for the people who are last known to see them. And when those people, Janie, Malaya, and Daniel, the only thing that comes out of their mouth is focused on self and how innocent they are and unaccountability, and there's no clear stories and everybody's inconsistent and not adding any more detail under the guise of not remembering or the information's not important enough to remember, doesn't change the end goal. Now they've got to go through the process. That's what we're going through. You've just been through the probable cause becoming probable for the RCMP. It's slow and painful, but that's because the people involved are making it that way. But to finish that off, Carol, the RCMP in situations like this rely on public information, discourse, no matter what's said. Nobody's victimizing the parents here. There's no reason to. People are speaking about the things that they say and the situation at hand. They're just desperate to be seen as victims. They're liars. We're all watching it. There's no denying it. It's a topic. It's a real thing that's occurring, happening. That's why all of this post-disappearance talk is so important to the investigation.
Get a babysitter for Fluffy because they're coming for you, Tucker, whatever.
Why don't you come? Since you're so good with children there, Anita, why don't you come babysit them?
No, he's nasty like you. He's
Why would Janie, out of rage, invite Anita to come over and babysit her dog? Do you need Anita to come take your dog off your hands? We're going to have to call animal welfare there in Pictou County?
nasty like you. He's mean like you.
Oh, no. You can't look after him because I wouldn't let a fucking liar around my dog. If you do, you would probably kill him.
No, I don't kill anything. You guys did something to the children. You did it.
Now, come on. Come on now. We don't know that for sure.
I know you're involved. That's why you're on the show. That's why you're lashing out at me. That's why Chance lashes out at me. You're involved. You're involved.
Anita.
You're like a fucking You're fucking like a fucking parrot. You're worse than fucking Cheryl.
Anita,
there's a very important leak and a very important detail right there. So she's angry towards Cheryl because she's an outsider interfering. Interesting. It's interesting that you're projecting what it is that you're doing onto Anita in all of this. Janie, you're the parrot. You're the parrot, not Anita.
What's your best question right now?
Her best question is, why is she such a god? My best question is, why is she such a goddamn liar and ruining everybody's lives?
Why were you raking in the driveway? Why were you raking in the driveway?
Oh my God.
It's interesting how Janie doesn't want to get specific with an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're bringing it up. You're not going to give an example to the person that you're confronting. You're going to rely on something general. That's disingenuous. It's not real. Tells me that you're lying, Janie. Surely you could find at least some reasons to point out something that she's done. You've watched all of her content. You can't help but not. probably more representative of a poor mental health due to the situation that they all have put themselves in due to their bullshit stories. Okay, that's the stress. That's the stress that's weighing on them. That's the cognitive load. There's even more when Anita comes.
Mike, fuck, would you take listen,
Yeah?
would you please do something with that head of hers? She already asked me that question how many goddamn times?
Listen to how bizarre. She's demanding Mike do something about Anita's head. Is that how you deal with your conflicts around Malaya and Daniel and the kids as well, Janie? Is this what happens when you want to get your way? You refuse to bring up the problem. Surely when you're in the right in any situation, you can rely on the truth and the reality of the situation to use and on your side in the moment to prove any of your points you're trying to make, but you don't. You're just trying to accuse people of ruining your life. Well, that's a pretty serious accusation. Could you give us for example? Just that your life is being ruined and you want to put it all on Anita in the moment, or something else without any sort of examples. The real example is your behavior in that moment, Janie, as opposed to what's going on. The onus is on you to bring a point, to have a point, and you don't have a point.
Times. How many goddamn times are you going to ask me what I was doing raking in the goddamn yard?
Another question.
Could you imagine if she's sitting in front of police investigators in the interview room, raging out against them because they ask her why she was raking in the yard? Are you going to talk to the RCMP detectives from Major Crimes Unit like that? Are you going to talk to Rob McMahon like that? I don't think so, Janie. You're going to give yourself away right away. You've given yourself away. There's a reason why cops ask you the same questions over and over again. Woo, we got a bit of a sensitivity there. There's a reason why you're raging mad. You don't like being asked over and over and over again. Something that has an answer to it. But you claim that we should all know. There's a quick answer. You could have taken that time just to straighten it out. Give them the answer and move on. Won that one. Put a check mark beside you. Here's my reason. But you don't have a goddamn reason because there was never going to be a pool there in the first place. You're the one who introduced you out there with the rake, and you're now mad for having to ask why it is again that you're out there. It should be fairly easy. It's like getting mad over being asked what 2 + 2 is. Why would you get mad when somebody asks you what 2 + 2 is? Couldn't you just answer them when you're in that situation? Not just some random out of the street situation, but when you're in this conversation, it's like you've got misguided anger there. Or do you? You're just angry because you're desperate for people in the moment to perceive you as a victim of something it is that you don't want to talk about that Mike and Anita is doing, just ruining your lives. You've been going on about that for a year, you old bag. Yeah, I get that feeling she's a big racist too.
Holy Jesus.
Okay, guys, so
Right. Can't you find anything better? Any other questions to ask their friggin' Anita know-it-all?
I got another one,
Anita,
Janie.
Anita,
Were you destroying evidence on the pipeline with your ATV? Were you destroying evidence on the pipeline with your ATV? Did you tell the investigators the truth? No. Did you pass your
they don't
polygraph?
answer.
No.
Ask her the question and let her answer. Go ahead.
How do you know what I told the investigators, Anita? Were you there? Do you think it was only me?
Why would it be any different? Why don't you just answer her questions?
And Justin and Daniel and Chance and Jordan and how many other searchers are out there on the
Thank you, Carol.
pipeline? God, you think that it was only the 5 of us or 6 of us out
You
there
weren't
that day?
searching.
Wait.
You
Okay.
weren't searching. You
So
knew the
wait.
kids weren't in the woods. You were destroying evidence. You weren't
Anita, please.
searching.
Please. So Jordan was there. You said it was Jordan was there at the pipeline.
Oh, no, fucking not Jordan, Adam. Sorry, Adam. Not Jordan, Adam.
Go ahead, Anita.
You were destroying evidence on the pipeline. You were destroying evidence on the pipeline. You were not searching for children.
Stop.
You knew they
Stop,
weren't
stop,
in the
stop.
woods.
Anita, no,
Oh,
enough.
down there, Anita.
Anita, stop. Now, okay. So you were all there, but if it was a crime, if there were so many people, if there was any evidence or anything there, wouldn't it be reasonable to assume that many people there, ATVs, would have destroyed any kind of tracks that could have been made there that had something to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily?
Okay, Mike, listen. We were up there Friday, okay? Friday? When did they find the footprints? They found the footprints, wasn't it on May 3rd? So if we were driving the, let me think right now. Here, let me look. I have a picture here. Let me see. I'll tell you when they found the
What about May
there,
2nd? Did you go there May 2nd?
All right, wait a second.
Okay, go ahead.
Wait, just hold on there a second. Just hold on there a sec, Mikey. On May 3rd, they found the footprints at, Malaya sent me a picture, May 3rd.
This is going absolutely fucking nowhere. She spent all of this time. She could have just answered the question or made a point, but she's not making a point. She's misdirecting, distracting. She's calling him Mikey. What the fuck is wrong with her? She's off her rocker, yo. Fearful and desperate, shameful, in denial, full of hate and rage. Desperate not to be found out. But everybody already knows, and that's what haunts her in her mind. She rages out. She rages and is raging because she doesn't know what to do. She's genuinely confused. There's no way out of this. The police are coming. The case is building against them. All of this is outside of her control. On top of it, she's got Anita up there calling her fucking names. It's a constant reminder of all of your sins. It's her own little hell. It's a reminder of all the bullshit lies and the cover-ups and the accessorizing she's doing in this case, if not even more. Her resentment is there. It's been there since she chose to move out there and shit in that 5-gallon bucket in the RV full time. Playing Candy Crush. Farmville. Obsessing over who's doing her crops and who's harvesting when. Trying to find new friends to look after her Farmville fucking crops.
At 10:16. Okay?
Okay.
They found the footprints, I think it was Friday night, in the middle of the night or something. I'm not quite sure. So if we were driving the ATVs up there and down and on the road,
Absolutely. Absolutely. A living hell, Adele. That's what is affecting her. It's a constant reminder of her sins and that all these souls out there are recognizing their guilt. Their only way out is to desperately look like a victim, kind of like a magpie playing dead. Do you see a magpie when they play dead on the road, but they're not actually dead? It's a response to predators, response to reality, the out of control truth, free will, law of the jungle.
on the pipeline, well, how did they find if we were destroying evidence, how would they find the footprints if we were driving the ATVs? Like, wouldn't somebody run over them?
So you took all of that time to not answer a very simple question that was plausible. You took all of that time and you ended up answering it with your own question. Again, that's Janie, dude. She does that. Janie, nobody needs to answer your questions. Nobody needs to be brought through with you're holding their hands through your flawed logic at any point in time. It's you avoiding the question yet again. Big time.
If we were
Daniel went back with the boot. Daniel went back with a boot and made the print.
Oh, fuck, that's a good one, Anita. Oh, that's a fucking good one.
What about May 2nd? What do you guys do May 2nd?
Interesting AF, friends. The link's pinned to the top of your live chat. It's 2 hours and 13 minutes in. Enjoy your Friday night. We as a community can get past this and progress it because, well, again, the case brings us in this direction. Janie's off-the-wall behavior is the topic, the conversation. And like it or not, it came by way of valid, plausible points by Anita Maxwell. It had nothing to do about who she was. She did the right thing in the moment with the right person on the other end of the line. You were given the opportunity to straighten out any sort of worry or concern you had with disinformation, misinformation out there, but again, you leave it up to the parties and revert back to your script, only in a louder tone, Janie. Unfortunately, as the days go by, Janie and Janie's looking more and more culpable. She's going to be on the hook for lifetimes too. And seeing how they had to do this the hard way, there's probably not going to be any opportunity for a plea deal. You're going to take the full Maudie, baby. But I'm glad we got somewhere today anyway. I'm so glad that Mr. Hemi gave me those clips. Or that clip. Not just because that's a funny haha clip of Janie, but think about what that means in light of the question at hand, regardless of who asked it. What a mistake on Janie's part again to try to confront Anita. Man, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great Friday night, friends. I appreciate you guys spending your time with me.
Ba-ba-ba-ba.